Hey guys, and welcome to AMC's Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chrisley Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news with insight into what it all means. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News senior editor, John Campea.
Bam! Congratulations, Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens, on your stunning blackout Super Bowl victory. That was great.
That was horrible.
That was great.
Horrible. And also joining us live this week, director of the upcoming film ABCs of Death, Jon Schnepp.
I'm actually here. Hey, Edgar Allan Poe's Ravens. All right. That's really cool that you guys won that thing that happened yesterday.
All right, today we're going to get things started with this. Ever since the Avengers, a lot of fans have been clamoring for a new Hulk standalone movie. Now that Marvel has appeared to get the character right in the fans' eyes. Last fall, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said that they had a lot of options on the table for the Hulk, and that the plot lines from the comic stories Planet Hulk and the follow-up World War Hulk were amongst the ideas on the table. Now it seems like those two story arcs will be a part of Phase 2 and Phase 3. Latino Review is reporting that the Hulk will get his own solo film that heavily ties into the events of the Avengers 2 and the Avengers 3. According to them, during the third act or a post-credit scene in the Avengers 2, Hulk will be shot into space by Marvel's version of the Illuminati because they decide that he is a dangerous threat to Earth. This would lead into his solo film, which would be based on Planet Hulk, where the Hulk spaceship crash lands onto a planet where he would become a gladiator who rises up to become king. The Avengers 3 would follow the World War Hulk story arc, where the Hulk, along with a few gladiators, returns to Earth seeking revenge on those responsible for his banishment. John, would this be a good direction for Marvel to go in
Oh
the
my
universe?
God, yes. Yes. I mean, I said for a long time the one comic story I really want to see brought to the screen is the Age of Apocalypse storyline, and I still do, but a very, very close second would be Planet Hulk / World War Hulk. To me, this is amazing. For those of you who don't know what the Illuminati is, and John, fill in the gaps, the Illuminati is this a secret group of the Marvel superhero kind of main guys. You had Mr. Fantastic, you've got
Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Professor X. Now, obviously, and a couple of others. I think Black Panther is one of them. Yeah.
You can't have Professor X and you can't have Mr. Fantastic because their rights belong to Fox. So you can't have him in there. But they just realized, hey, Hulk is way too dangerous. We got to exile him, and then he comes back and he's like taking everybody. Wow. If this is true. And I generally, Latino Review more often than not is right.
Yeah, somehow Latino Review, they are almost always right.
Yeah,
they get some
really
weird
good
inside.
stuff.
They have an inside mole somewhere.
Yeah, and so let's just continue to say if this is right. Let's assume that it is. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Because really, what can you do with the Hulk? That tops what you did with him in the Avengers. It's incredible. I'm all on board for this. I think this is fantastic. Schnepp, what do you think?
I think it's great too because it gives you a different way to go with the new Hulk movie. Like if the Hulk movie that they make is actually Planet Hulk, then you're just not going to, like the first two Hulks that we had, the Ang Lee Hulk, which is like Slabby Hulk is what I call him, and then the second Ed Norton Hulk, which is like the ripped weird Hulk, is like he has no skin, it's just his musculature. Those are just origin stories, and then they had a villain. So this will be like a totally different. And also, this goes with Guardians of the Galaxy and how they want to get more cosmic. He's on another planet. It just opens it all up, makes it a super Marvel nerd core.
And one of the things that I love about too is like, okay, if they're going to fight Thanos in Avengers 2, which is what it looks like they're going to do, how do you top Thanos? How do you increase the size of the threat with Hulk himself? Make him the threat somehow that they all got to gang up and fight him? Yeah, sign me up. I am totally on board for this.
Finally, Iron Man Hulkbuster outfit will be seen. Right?
Oh, my God. Yes. Yes. Okay, sorry.
This weekend, the Directors Guild of America handed out their annual awards and named Ben Affleck as Best Director for his work on Argo. This means Affleck has now won Best Director at the Critics' Choice Awards, the Golden Globes, and the Directors Guild, yet he wasn't even nominated for the Oscars. Schnepp, as Affleck continues to rack up the awards, is this becoming an embarrassment for the Oscars?
I don't know. I mean, that it's even a question is the proof in the pudding. Affleck's an incredible director. He shouldn't have been shafted. But, the Oscars is made up of people in AMPAS, which isn't just directors. It's a lot of everyone. And people who've won a ton of Oscars before. So I think it's let's just put it this way. I think Lincoln's going to win the Oscars, and I think Affleck should have been at least in there. Sorry about the low energy. I just I
Get
think
a little deflated.
yeah,
It's depressing.
yeah,
It is.
It's depressing. So
I often wonder why he wasn't nominated.
Well,
what was the choice behind that?
This is really that. Look, I am an Oscars and Academy defender. I defend it all the time. I understand that the system is not perfect, but I think of all the awards out there, I think it's got a really good system, and generally speaking, they get it right. And usually when those of us in this type of position complain that they get it wrong, what we're really saying is they didn't pick what I would have picked, and so on and so forth. I don't think there have been a lot of shafts, like true legit shafts in Oscar history, but this one, this is becoming embarrassing to the Academy, that everybody else on the planet is not just saying Affleck deserves to be recognized as a great directorial performance this year. They're all saying he was the best. He wins the Critics' Choice Award. He wins the Golden Globes. Golden Globes don't really mean anything. He wins the Directors Guild. I mean, everybody's saying he's the best, and yet the Oscars say you're not even in our top 5.
he's just saying that the Oscars is really out of touch, and this is proof. That's really what it's saying. It's like, I agree. Usually it's an opinion thing. Like, they didn't pick who I wanted, but this is just kind of like, no, I think they're just a little bit out of touch. They're off the pulse of what is actually really happening in cinema.
Completely.
Which is weird because it's the Oscars.
Yeah, agreed.
As most of you know, Transformers 4 is coming June 27th of 2014, with Michael Bay returning once again to direct, and will star Mark Wahlberg and Jack Renner. Bay made comments recently that seem to suggest that Transformers are getting redesigns. Here's what Bay had to say. The history of the first 3 movies is still there. We start 4 years later, and there's a reason why we're meeting a new cast. We keep the Transformers the way they were. It's just 4 years later. There's a reason the Transformers are redesigned. We're trying to broaden the franchise and give it more places to go. John, what do you think of the idea of a redesigned Transformer?
I hate it. I really do. And look, I am a notorious Michael Bay defender. Actually, I'm one of the only guys on the planet who, when they announced Michael Bay to direct the Transformers, I actually said, this is a good fit. I love The Rock. Armageddon is one of my big guilty pleasure movies, and I love the first Transformers movie. Don't ask me about the second 2. But they have never felt to me with the Transformers franchise like they've had a clue. Like they've had a plan, like we often talk about with the Marvel films. Marvel clearly has a plan, what they're doing and what their purposes are for each movie and how they lead into the next. With Transformers, it's just felt very thrown together. It's like, what's our idea today? And let's do this and let's do this. And everything feels disorganized and scattered. And now we're going to redesign the characters for no apparent reason. It doesn't feel like it makes any sense. It never felt like they had any plan. And for me, it feels really chaotic, and I don't like the feeling of it. Schnepp?
Well, for me, I wasn't a Transformers fan. I didn't watch the cartoon. And I remember when the first Transformers was coming out, a lot of the people I work with who are really into the Transformers, the original cartoon series, hated the new designs. They were like, it's all spidery, and they look like, they didn't look like the truck, the Optimus Prime truck. They were all like, they look like, alien Giger little creatures and stuff. And to me, I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm just going to see the movie. And, it was the first one I didn't like that much. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, I think the third one for me is my favorite. But I'm just not into, dogs peeing on robots and them hiding behind buildings. I just thought that.
You don't like giant robot testicles? What?
Yeah, right.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. Well, maybe that part. But I think fine, redesign some. Have a bouncing robot. I don't know. I'm like, whatever they're going to redesign, I'm sure it's cool. It's not like they're going to just add some stupid design to mess with the fans. Well, seeing as it's our 4th Transformers, we thought we'd add this thing called block, and it's just a big cube that doesn't move, and it transforms into a cube that doesn't move. I don't know. I just wait and see. Wait, don't get too weird and sweaty about the transformation of these Transformers yet until we see them. You know what I mean? That's how I think. They're probably going to be cool.
All right, it's come to the part of the show now called Buy or Sell. This is basically the part where Chris Lee is going to read off a bunch of other top movie news stories today, and Schnepp and I are going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chris Lee, what do we got?
As we've talked about on this show several times, director Brett Ratner is putting together a new Hercules film, which will star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which is scheduled to come out on August 8th, 2014. Now it's being reported that Die Hard 2 director Renny Harlin will direct another Hercules film called Hercules 3D for Millennium Films 5 months earlier on March 2014. Schnepp, buy or sell a second Hercules movie?
Sell immediately. Fire sale. Sorry, this sounds like the Asylum, like that company that puts out like Transformers. What's your movie? Mansformers. It's men who transform into other men. It's like, I don't know. I could go on
I'd pay
forever.
to see that.
That's right. Actually, that's a pretty good idea, Asylum. You should make Mansformers.
I am also going to sell this. I mean, this reminds me of the time when like Dante's Peak came out, and then they announced, oh, right before that, we're going to release Volcano, and Armageddon. It's like, oh yeah, well we've got, what's the Morgan Freeman, I'm the President in the Comets Coming movie? I can't remember.
Oh right.
But yeah, I don't
Deep
like
Impact.
this. Deep Impact. Thank you.
That sounds like a porno.
But it sounds like they're just capitalizing on the other Hercules movie. And oh, by the way, we're going to put it out 5 months before you do. They don't even have a cast yet, so no, I'm going to sell this.
And the guy, didn't he direct Ice Pirates or Treasure Island or something like that?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Renny Harlin?
You know, I think he did do that. Not Ice Pirates, but I think he did.
Treasure Island? Or
Might-
I think it
that
was
might have been
called
the one he did.
Pirates Gold or
We'll have to
something?
look it up.
All right.
Star Trek Into Darkness opens in AMC theaters everywhere on May 17th, but they've now announced that they will release the film 2 days earlier on IMAX screen on May 15th. John, buy or sell an early IMAX release?
I think this is a great idea. Number one, it gets it out in the theaters a little bit early. Obviously, they want to capitalize on the higher ticket prices that you generally get from an IMAX screen. But yeah, I think this is a nice idea. It's always good to give fans a little bit of a treat, and releasing this film that is so hotly anticipated a little bit early, let's give the fans a treat, so I buy it.
My birthday is May 16th, so I know what I'm doing on May 15th at midnight, yo. Bye!
A press release from Cross Creek Pictures and exclusive media have announced that Johnny Depp will play Boston's most notorious gangster, Whitey Bulger, in a film set up at Universal called Black Mass with Rain Man and Wag the Dog director Barry Levinson. Schnepp, buy or sell Depp as a gangster?
Buy if he's a pirate gangster. He's like, arg, put up, Al Capone. I don't know. Shiver me timbers. Arg. Yeah, I guess I'll buy it. Depp's a good actor, you know.
I'm going to sell this. Depp is a good actor. We've seen him as a gangster, though, twice before. The Donnie Brasco thing where he was really a cop, which was a really good movie. I like Donnie Brasco. But he also did Public Enemies a couple of years ago, which should have been really good, and I was really let down by it. Part of the problem is being this big, notorious, all-threatening, all-fearful gangster, I find nothing physically, and I'm not just talking about physical size, I found nothing physically intimidating about Johnny Depp. As much of I like him as an actor, I don't buy him in this particular type of role. I like to see him in something else. So for me personally, I'm going to sell it.
With Affleck's win at the Directors Guild Awards, Argo adds to its trophy case, having won Best Picture at the Golden Globes, the Producers Guild, the Critics' Choice Awards, and the Screen Actors Guild, heading into the Oscars. John, buy or sell Argo's chances of winning Best Picture at the Oscars, despite Affleck having not being nominated?
Yeah, we covered this before, that it hasn't been since 1989 with Driving Miss Daisy has a movie where the director wasn't nominated for Best Director actually go on to win Best Picture. But look, to use a Super Bowl and football term, momentum seems to be all in Argo's favor. Somebody put up a great tweet last night when the lights went out, wondering if Disney would turn the power off at the Oscars to try to break Argo's momentum so Lincoln can win Best Picture. You know what? I said before, nah, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. I got to change my tune. I buy this. I actually think Argo is actually going to win Best Picture now. Schnepp?
I sell. I don't think it's going to win Best Picture. I think Lincoln's got a lock on all that stuff. Well, I don't agree that Lincoln should win. I'm just saying that Argo won't win Best Picture.
All right.
WreckIt Ralph just took home the 40th annual Annie Awards Best Animated Picture Award. Schnepp, buy or sell WreckIt Ralph winning Best Animated Picture at the Annie Awards?
I have not seen WreckIt Ralph yet, so have no opinion.
You haven't seen WreckIt Ralph?
Haven't seen it yet. Gonna say it again in a song. Gotta see it. Sorry.
I buy this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. WreckIt Ralph is the best animated film of the year. I actually put in my either my top 10 or top 11 best films overall of the year. I just think it's a really special movie, and hopefully it will win the Oscar for Best Animated Picture. So yeah, make me a solid buy. Well, listen, folks. One of the features we've brought back to the show is something you guys wrote to us a lot about, asking us to bring back, is our mailbag. If you want to get your question asked on the show, just email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. We're going to pick one email every single day and bring it up. And we've got one pulled today. And Crystal Lee, what do we got?
David R. from Detroit, Michigan asks, "Hey everybody, I love the show. I never miss a single episode. On a previous episode, you mentioned about the timing being very good to do an Entourage movie. We've been hearing for some time from Kiefer Sutherland himself about 24 the movie, but it keeps getting pushed back for one reason or another. My questions are, do you think 24 the movie will ever get made? And if it does, is it too little, too late?"
I don't think it's ever going to happen. I think it is too little, too late. I think they've waited too long to capitalize on any, I'm going to use the word momentum again, from the series. But also, unlike Entourage, which for me, Entourage did peter out a little, but it was still quite popular when it went off the air. I think 24 spent a couple of seasons petering out. I was a big fan of it earlier on, but I think it lost a lot of its steam. And also, look, the season started to repeat themselves so much. Oh, someone's going to blow up Los Angeles. Oh, somebody in, what was the name of their anti-terrorism unit? Again, for whatever, the MSU or whatever they call it, somebody who works there is actually a traitor. They did that like 4 out of the 8 seasons. I mean, they just ran out of things to do. So I think it's too late. I think the show petered out. I think they lost all originality with it. So I don't think it should happen, and I don't think it will happen. Schnepp?
I say call it 48 and make it a comedy series about sentient whales from outer space. Then I'll go see it.
Well, listen, folks, that will do it for us. We've run out of time. Listen, while I've got you, stop what you're doing. Click that subscribe button. Become a subscriber of our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news, our editorials, and, of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show. And listen, if you want to listen to an audio-only version of this show, either at work or while you're driving to work, whatever, search for us on iTunes. Just search for AMC Movie Talk. You'll find an audio-only version there. Or find us on Stitcher Radio. You can find links in the comments section or in the description below. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMC Theaters. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AMC Theaters. And once again, click that subscribe button. Become one of our subscribers. I want to thank our co-host over here, Mr. Jon Schnepp. John, thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
And listen, before I forget to mention, I'm also going to put this in the show notes. Schneppy over here is putting together this remarkable Superman Lives documentary. He's got a Kickstarter going for it. I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes. We'll talk more about it later this week, Schnepp, but I want you guys to jump down there, check out, see what it's all about, and make sure you support it. I also want to thank our host today, Miss Crystal Lee Kennedy. Thank you so much, Crystal Lee.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, you guys. Listen, the most important part of the show is not what we have to say. It's what you have to say. Jump into the comments section and let us know your thoughts on any and all of these topics below. And once again, click that subscribe button. Thanks again for joining us. My name's John Campea for AMC Movie News. Bye-bye.